Hey guys, welcome to DBC Film Room. I'm your host Rip Cliff. We're going to go over the Falcons Week 1 matchup versus the Saints and go really in detail and just dive in to this film. I'm not going to go over every play, but I'm going to go over key plays and a lot of the fourth quarter, especially because there's just a lot of stuff that I want to break down. My goal with all this is to kind of educate you guys on football concepts as best I can, and kind of add to the discourse, and kind of dispel some narratives that are just not true when it comes to this. So we're going to jump in with the first play here. This is a read option play. Now, I'm going to put this at the front because this is going to be something that I reference in multiple plays throughout. It's not as big a factor in this play, but I just wanted to go ahead and set the information out there. So I'm going to be referencing the Mike linebacker a lot, and the Mike linebacker is just simply the middle linebacker in a given formation. The way you identify them, I mean, it's pretty easy with sub packages like they're running here, because you only got one linebacker and he's directly in the middle of the formation. So obviously he's the Mike, but sometimes you might have two linebackers, three linebackers, and they might be lined up in different ways. But the way that you ID the Mike is you just look at the inside of both the tackles, so their inside leg. That's called the tackle box. That's what we refer to when we say get out of the we're referring to getting out of the tackle box. And what you're looking at is the personnel within the tackle box. So you right here, you've got two, and then you got the linebacker here. You got two linemen and a linebacker here. Sometimes you'll have linebackers out here, linebacker out here, something like that. They're not the middle linebacker. The middle linebacker is literally the person in the middle of the field, like little middle of the tackle box. But it can be kind of confusing. I'm going to leave a link in the description to a video that was done by a guy that I follow, Voch Lombardi, a few years ago, that goes into full detail of the Mike linebacker ID and the Mike, what its purpose is and everything. That's how I educated myself on it, years ago. But it's a very good video, very detailed video. So if you guys want to check that out, I'll have it in the description below. But for this purpose, I'm just going to quickly kind of give you a rundown on what the Mike linebacker signifies when it comes to blocking assignments. So basically, in the run game, he's typically the guy that they key in on. So basically, what I mean by key is you're usually going to have a reach lineman. It could be the center, could be one of the guards. Very rarely is it a tackle, but in some blocking assignments it is. But basically, what most of the time happens is, like, this guard and this center, will combo this guy right here, and one of them will reach up to the linebacker. All right. So in run formations, now in this particular play, that doesn't happen, and that's because of this what we call a SIF block, where basically Pitts is going to come across the formation, and in this case, Demario Davis, I think that's his name, follows Pitts, so he is basically taken out of the play by the motion. So now it's kind of weird that he does follow, because it seems like they're in zone, because they're going to motion Zacchaeus here. And sorry if I mess up names and stuff like that, I do apologize, but and they don't move. And usually with motion, if you see like these guys not moving, that usually indicates zone coverage. So looks like they're in a zone. Now this is also a read option play. So what we're going to have here is all our linemen are going to go to the, I guess that would be the right. Sorry, I'm I'm kind of discombobulated here, but they're all going to slant to the right and block down, and McGarry is going to ignore Cam Jordan here. Now normally he would be the read guy for Mariota, but in this case they're bringing down a safety, and he is actually going to be the person that Mariota reads on this play. And basically, just to tell you what read is, so what he's going to be looking for is who is this guy going to take. If he stays out wide and kind of he's playing the quarterback. Like if he just stays out here and sits, Mariota's going to hand the ball off, and the running back's going to go up the middle here. But in this case, he's going to actually crash in on Damian Williams here. And so what Mariota does is he reads that and he keeps it, and then he's going to go to the outside. Then you've got Drake London out here blocking. You're going to have guys coming across, and obviously you have Zacchaeus motioning, so he's going to go up and try to take on blockers here, and then you got guys coming across. Basically, the point of a read option is to kind of give yourself numbers in the blocking of the play, because you're basically, in this case, you're leaving two defenders completely unblocked, and just by the motion of the play, those guys are taken out of the play. And also, with the SIF block here, like Pitts doesn't even really block, but he takes out Davis here just with that, but obviously he's accounted for. And when we run this, you'll see all that. Like I said, I'll try to explain it as best I can, but we're going to run the play here and just show you what I'm talking about. Alright, you see he's already coming in, right? So he's already coming in on Damian Williams, so Mariota's looking at him. Also, I want to bring up this, so you see where McGarry kind of ignored Cam Jordan, but he is staying on McGarry's hip. You'll notice that later when they run more read option plays. That is a typical thing. Now, he usually doesn't go all in like this, but he knows that he's not the read man. He's just trying to stay close to the line, just in case there's any pulls or anything like that. He wants to be able to kind of condense things, and also he wants to help if Mariota does hand off here. He wants to be able to be close enough to where he can close that gap. So that's why he's doing that. Now, most of the time you'll see him not really hug the lineman here. You'll see him just kind of crouch and stay close to the hip and go down. But, it just depends. And then obviously you see the SIF motion here by Pitts. You'll see that a lot in a lot of our plays. And also what I wanted to bring up before I play the rest of the way through is you see all the movement that's going on here. You see the guy, he's coming over on an over route here. Like I said, I'm not sure of the names on all this, but I'm just going to kind of show you spots on the field. But you see where this could also be kind of an RPO later on, because you got Pitts coming out here, so he could be like your quick release, and then you're going to over out here. So if you got the linebackers kind of coming down, that could be open. These could be they're going to be blocking in this situation, but they could turn into routes if need be. So I do want to kind of point that out, because What we're going to see throughout the year is we're going to see similar formations and have multiple ways to attack a defense. So you're kind of showing them the same thing, but it's different. But we're going to go ahead and play this out. And you see already, like this, he is keying in on Pitts right here. So he is going out, which it does help him because he knows that the run, if it is a run, he's going to be the contained guy. Obviously he doesn't do the greatest job, but that's kind of what the idea is here. And that is the first play. I hope that you have a good explanation. We'll move on to the next. Alright, so we're going to cover kind of a really simple, common thing that you're going to see with an Arthur Smith type offense. This is going to be the use of play action and a kind of spacing concept as far as the route running, because what you basically want from your route combinations is you want to have different levels of the field. Like you want to have a receiver in those different levels in spacing, so that no matter what the defense tries to do, is you're gonna have someone open. So right here they're gonna have like a basic cover 3 formation here, and we're gonna tell that it's zone because they're gonna motion Zacchaeus and nobody is going to follow him. So that always keys in that it's zone. Not always, but most of the time. Obviously defenses adjust to that, and sometimes they'll do like they'll do a switch, so it looks like zone and it turns out to be man. But in this case, they are in a zone coverage. Now, this is play action. So basically, what's going to happen here? I'm just going to kind of draw out. London is going to run a fade. Okay, so he's going to be like the upper end here, the upper end spacing. He's going to be, in that void, just in case, this corner reacts to Zacchaeus, who's going to run a motion, and then he's going to go up and out. He's going to run a little out. So if this guy like freezes, and you've got the safety over here, but if there's some space here between the safety and the corner, you might hit Drake London here. Obviously, this guy is gonna take Zacchaeus in this situation because he's the flat defender. But like I said, you're just trying to create levels, so you're gonna see like Zacchaeus take up that space. And then the big thing, Pitts is actually gonna get a catch here. And where he is going, he's just running a little over route here, and the play action is going to suck these linebackers down into the play, and that motion is going to get them out of position, and Pitts is just going to run in behind that, and that's where the space is going to be, and Mariota is going to hit it. So we'll see here. You're going to see the motion here from Zacchaeus. You're going to snap the ball, play action. You're going to see the linebackers all sucked down. See all this space that's created here? You've got space here. Honestly, you've got space right here. So you could theoretically hit him, but obviously the best window here is right here. I mean, everybody just is sold out on that, and he is just wide open. So that's a perfect. And I want to show you something here. Kind of go back. Look at Mariota's fake here. So what you want is exactly what Mariota gives you here. So what you're going to see is he's going to stick his hand out here, and he's going to sell this all the way to the mesh point. You want to do that because you really want to get those linebackers really flowing down. And the harder you sell that play action, the more you're going to get that motion. So You'll see here, and it makes it very easy for the line because they're basically run blocking here, and they don't. I mean, just a little caveat here too. In run defense, this is going to come up a lot too. Is a lot of times when you're talking about run defense in a zone scheme, the linemen, they're not attacking. They're filling gaps, right? So they're just going to flow with the linemen. So if they're blocking down here, you're going to have a hard slant basically either to this side, or to the left side or to the right. In this case, they slant to the right, and basically what the linemen are doing, they're just flowing because you don't want to get out of position when you're talking about zone blocking schemes, because this running back, he's reading every gap. It's not the same as a gap scheme where you have a specific gap. You might have like say they're going into this gap here. You have the guard block down or the guard and tackle. So you got the guard block here, and the tackle block out this way. That's not how a zone scheme works. They all flow typically the same way. Obviously, you'll still have pulling guards and pulling tackles and crashing down, blocking down. You'll have different things there, but for the most part, your linemen are going to be flowing one way, and the defensive linemen are going to flow either going against the grain, so they're either going to leverage this way to the left and kind of leverage, but they're still going to flow to the right, just kind of leverage this way, or they're going to crash down to the right and flow that way. And the idea is if you got a cutback, you're going to have a guy in that gap, so that's really their job. But in this case, in play action, it makes the pass blocking a little bit easier because it starts out as a run block, and you've got those guys not really going, pinning their ears back and flowing down. But really what sells this play, everybody does a tremendous job on this across the board, but Mariota's play action fake here really gets those linebackers coming down. You'll see that here. So you see him come out. We'll see the motion here. He come out. He's showing that all the way to the mesh point. Matt Ryan was perfect at this too. Now you see some of these guys have kind of keyed on, but see, if he does hand off, you're also with these motions, you got numbers here if this was a run play. So it works both ways. With this, you're going to see a lot of, even our run plays, you're going to see a lot of motion here because you're wanting to get numbers in the blocking game, and this is a good way to do it because you're going to be taking defenders out of the play just with the motions. So they crash down here, and obviously Pitts is wide open, makes a great catch, first down. Alright guys, I wanted to show this play next, just because it kind of illustrates my point. This is another read option play that was ran in this game, and this time Cam Jordan is the defender here, the read defender. So I kind of wanted to show you how that is done. So basically, again, the line is going to be crashing to the right of the formation, and they're going to be blocking, hat on a hat. You're going to see, I think it's Dahlman. He's going to reach up to this defender here, and Mariota's going to mesh here. What you're going to see Cam do is he's going to get into the hip, as I was saying, of McGarry, and he's going to squeeze. Well, Mariota is going to take that and go to the outside here. Another thing I want you guys to notice is all the motion that's going on. So Drake London's going to motion out here. You're going to have Parker Hesse come out here, and I think this is Brian Edwards. He's going to come out here, and what you're going to see, I'm going to pause it, and you're going to see not only where there's going to be hat on a hat, which is what you really want. You want to have numbers in the blocking game. In this play in particular, we do have numbers. Mariota basically just has to beat Cam Jordan here to the outside, and he gets a decent gain. But it's also, again, going back to later on in the year, we're going to see these same looks, but there's going to be some passing, some other motion off of it throughout the year. So this is setting up for future plays moving forward. So you see here, you see the initial squeeze here by Cam. He's riding the hip of McGarry, but he's far inside, so obviously this is a keep motion. So you've also got Drake London out here. Hesse is going to be able to take on this guy. You got Edwards coming in. He's going to be blocking here, but you can also see where there could be some route combos here later on. You got Pitts is going to be blocking down here. He kind of gets jumbled up in the mess here, but obviously these defenders aren't going to be as big a factor in the play because it's coming to this side. And so basically what you want to see here is you've got numbers here, and obviously Mariota's just got to beat Jordan, which he's already taken steps inside here, so he's got to quickly change directions, flip his hips, and obviously that's gonna spell trouble. So that's what makes the read option such a difficult play to defend if it's ran well, which we did here. And so you'll see as it runs through here, you've got blockers, and then Mario's just got to beat Cam Jordan. He gets a nice little gain there on the play. Alright guys, so switching over to the defense here. This is really the first play, but I wanted to kind of illustrate this because it highlights how good Rashaan Evans is, and I'm going to show plenty of clips throughout this film session is showing how good Rashaan Evans is, especially in the run game. So what we've got here is just a simple zone blocking run to Kamara, but we play this very well here. So the first thing is we want to look at is that in this play, because you see Walker is outside of the tackle box, so Rashaan Evans is the mic. Alright, so I think there was a mistake by Ruiz here, because the line is going to be kind of blocking to the left of the formation, and they're going to combo. I don't know if this is Horn. I don't know which defensive lineman. It might probably Timmy Horn. If I had to guess, like I said, I'm going to probably butcher names throughout. But I got Taquan Graham. You got Jared over here at the end. You've got Ogundeji at the outside linebacker position here. And then your two inside linebackers are going to be Michael Walker and Rashaan Evans. So, all right, the goal of this, how you want to defend this, and how they do pretty well. So what you're first going to have is you're going to have, I think they're slanting to the right, and then you're going to have Ogundeji here, and he's going to just take on, he's the contain, so he's going to just take on the block here. Oh, sorry about that. Pause. Okay. He's going to take on the block here and just hold his position. Now, Rashaan Evans really makes this play. Uh, Now, like I said, I think Ruiz makes a mistake here because they're comboing Horn, and he does not get off the block and reach. I think he is the reach man given the leverage that they have. Eric McCoy tries to reach later, but it's hard because if you got the lineman, slanting this way, you're comboing. He's got to go around the defender and reach, whereas Ruiz would have the leverage to just come off the block and take on Rashaan Evans. But Rashaan Evans does a good job. He's just going to come down and kind of ride the line to hit the gap. Because basically Kamara, the way that we play this, even Terrell does a good job of coming down and just kind of sitting and waiting in the hole to see where, giving Kamara basically no options, but to just cut up, into the teeth of the defense. Because what you want is you just want, these guys to flow and eat up space, and then your linebackers flow down. And then Michael Walker, his job typically you would want him to get to the outside here to take on any if you got a pulling guard or whatever the case may be. You don't really have that in this case, but sometimes you'll have a pulling guard, pulling tackle or something. You want him to take on that point of attack so that Rashaan Evans can come in and kind of clean up the play. And you see that here, he doesn't go outside, but he goes in and takes on this blocker, which is very good. Like, you want to take on the blocker here, and you want to really bring it to him. You don't want to be like kind of flowing backwards and then kind of set your feet. Like, he doesn't necessarily have to win this block. He's just got to take that block on, so he takes him out of the play to not be able to reach up, on Evans. And you see here Terrell does a great job of coming down, and he's just filling in this gap right here so that he can you're wanting to funnel. You don't want Kamara to get out here, right? Because then you got blockers and you got him out on the edge, and that's no bueno. So Ogundeji does a good job taking on this block here and just holding point. Terrell comes and fills this gap. Walker takes on this blocker here, so he can't. He leaves Rashaan Evans free here, and like I said, Ruiz kind of makes a mistake. He didn't reach. You see Eric McCoy trying to make up, but obviously he's not going to be in position to stop Rashaan Evans at this point. So they just kind of flow, and then you get a gang tackle here at the mesh point. So that was a great defensive effort right there. So this is a play that I actually wanted to just bring up because we really didn't play this perfectly at all, really. There was some good elements, but this really came down to Grady Jarrett just being better than everybody on the field. He really made the play, so I really want to highlight him in this play, because what he's going to do is he's going to take on I think Ruiz is blocking him, because I think Eric McCoy goes up and tries to reach, but he's basically taking on two blockers because he ends up like riding, like this is an outside zone run, and our linebackers, who are usually pretty on point and they're usually the pivotal people, they actually get blocked up pretty well on this play. Now Rashaan Evans kind of gets under his block and he kind of like trails the play to prevent the cutback, which is a good thing to do. Michael Walker just gets pretty much taken out of the play as far as that goes. Now, um, in this play, um, I think, and this one's kind of a harder one for me to ID the mic, but I think that he is the, Rashawn is the mic on this one. Um, like I said, I'm almost positive he is, but uh, but anyways, so Michael Walker, he still does a pretty good job of taking on the blocks, and eating up space, but he just doesn't really get to his spot on the field. But it doesn't matter because Grady Jarrett's just better than everybody, and he's gonna just beat his guys all the way and make the tackle on Kamara for a minimal gain. So we'll see this play through here. Yeah, see, he just took on the entire line there. I mean, our defense was okay. I mean, it wasn't terrible. Um, you know, at points you still saw our guys really fighting and taking on. And like I said, Rashawn get kind of slips under his block. Um, sorry, I didn't dissect it enough to really ID everything that was going on in the play. I just really wanted to focus on Grady on this play, but I did want to kind of give you some context. But it really didn't matter. Grady Jarrett was just a one-man wrecking crew on this play, and I just wanted to highlight that. All right, so this is where the or the Taysom Hill running started here, and I'm going to show you obviously the first couple of runs that they did with Taysom Hill were bad, and I'm going to point out what happened that went wrong, and I'm going to key in on the key parts here. I'm not going to break down the entire defense because a lot of it's the same of what we've been talking about and what we'll talk about moving forward, but I really wanted to key in on what made this happen. And the person that messed up on this play, and he's a guy that I'm going to praise for most of the film, but in this particular instance, he did not a great job. All right, and that is Rashaan Evans here. Okay, so in this particular situation, he's the mic, obviously, because Walker's all the way out here. So Walker is contained, and he does a pretty decent job. He takes on, I think this guy is who was blocking him. But what the Saints do, and they do this in the play that we defend well. They pretty much run the same exact play later on in this game, and we defend it well. And I'll go over that and kind of show you the difference. But the difference is going to be how Rashaan Evans plays this um, from that perspective. And like I said, I'm going to go over all the plays that they run with Taysom Hill as far as that goes, and just kind of show you the difference. But so basically, I think on this one, I don't know if it's either the tackle comes out or the guard here. I think it's the guard here maybe. Might be Pete's. One of the offensive linemen pulls on this play, and he's like a lead blocker, right? He's gonna be coming in here. What you want from Evans, which he does not do here, is they're gonna be trying to reach up to him and kind of seal him off, and then Terrell is going to be the guy that gets blocked out of the play by the lineman, which is just a mismatch. Terrell is just not going to be able to do that, right? You're going to want to keep him free. What you want to see from Evans, which he does not do here, is you want him to take on that block. You want him to crash down and get into this gap right here where it's going to be leading into. Instead, he takes a bad angle and he kind of comes down this way, and then the linemen just kind of reach up and kind of seal him off, and then they have an extra blocker here to take out Terrell, and then it's just off to the races from there, right? So we'll see that here. Like I said, I can't remember who pulls. I think it's this guy, but I'm not positive on that. It might be this tackle. But yeah, we'll run it and see. Okay, it's Pete. But anyways, I have a pulling guard here, so you'll see already he's already taken on kind of a poor angle. Now you see here, it's actually the fullback here that Walker's taking on. Like I said, I apologize if I have to correct myself in mid play. I'm just kind of getting the gist here as far as that goes. So. But you'll see here, he kind of comes down here and he gets sealed off. I mean, this guy doesn't even really have to block Evans. He just kind of seals him off. And then you got Pete coming here on the pull. AJ Terrell's going to try to get into this gap here, but he's going to get blocked out. So I'm just going to play this here. You see him get kicked out. And then obviously you got a crease here, and Taysom Hill just takes it. And then, good pursuit, but, there's nothing really you can do here other than just try to mitigate the problem. Actually, I'm gonna play this here just so we can kind of illustrate more of Evans taking a bad angle here and what that creates here. Yeah, he just comes straight down, and you'll see later he makes an adjustment there, and it makes all the difference in the play. Obviously not the next play I want to show, because I want to show the other one that didn't go so well, but yeah. Alright guys, here's the touchdown run by Taysom Hill. And so what I really want to key on here is kind of the same thing. Now in this instance, both Walker and Rashawn take bad angles, and it really springs the run. Now the reason I got kind of confused on who was pulling and stuff, I've watched all these plays, and I kind of get confused on who pulls on which play. On this one, number 71, the tackle here, he's going to be the guy that kind of pulls out of the formation and kind of lead blocks, right? But what I want to key in on here, because the defensive line does kind of what they always do and what they need to do in a zone blocking scheme, is they're just going to kind of slant and kind of flow with the linemen to condense the play. Where the linebackers are key on stopping these kind of runs is Walker. Where he messes up is he kind of comes downhill, kind of like this, and he gets sealed off. And then Evans, he's the Mike linebacker in this instance. As we've talked about before, he's the Mike. And you'll see Eric McCoy here, he's going to reach up. You'll actually see him like look towards Evans, and he just basically, he doesn't really take him on. He just kind of like turns his back to him, kind of shields him off, and Evans doesn't do a very good job. What you want to do is just kind of blow that up, and you'll see later Evans does it well. Like, so I'm not saying like anything negative towards him. It's just something that they had to adjust to, and they do adjust to later on, and I'll show that on the next clip here. But yeah, so Evans, he kind of doesn't take on the block. Michael Walker takes a bad angle, gets sealed off, and then you've got a lead blocker here, again getting into the secondary here, and he just, and then you've got a blocker here, you got blockers all over. So the linebackers are very important here, because what you really want, as I stated earlier, and what they do later, is you want Walker to kind of come outside here, right? Because you want him to force Hill back inside, right? And you want him to take on any blocks here, like so. If that guy's pulling here and Walker kind of takes a wide berth, this lineman has to take him on, and he needs to blow that up, right? So that these guys can do their job against these receivers and maybe get an open slot. What you want to do is force Taysom Hill to go back inside. Then you have your D line flowing with the lineman and have leverage, and then you just kind of condense it and close in and stop the play. That does not happen here, and we'll see. So you'll see Walker come downhill, gets sealed off, I think, by I think that's 82. And then you just got blockers coming out. They've got a hat on a hat, and they've also got this guy pulling. So you got a big big lineman taking on DBs here. So it's not a good play. Yeah, you see everybody's just got a hat on a hat. There's nothing that you can do from there. It just is all predicated, and we'll see here from the field view here, the line view. Just he's Evans really isn't taking on that block. I mean, he's on skates, So anyways, we'll see a better clip of that. I'm gonna put that right after this one. So. Now this was a textbook way to shut down the Taysom Hill option, right? So Rashaan Evans really makes this play. Ogundeji does a very good job here, because he's a contained man, and Rashaan Evans, instead of taking that bad angle like he did in the first half, he cuts down over here, and it forces Landry, and 71 is the pulling here, so the tackle, and it just frees up, and Ogundeji holds his ground, comes off his block, makes the tackle for a minimal gain, and Michael Walker's the Mike in this situation, so McCoy is reaching up to him. Now he doesn't affect the play that much in this scenario, but he does do a better job of squaring up his block, or his squaring up and taking on the block than he did earlier. But like I said, Rashaan Evans and Ogundeji make this play work. Bam, just get in the gap, hold him up, and then Ogundeji fights off, makes the tackle, minimal gain. Perfect. You see it there. Alright guys, I'm going to cover this play even though it went negatively for us. It was the fumble by Zacchaeus, but I want to focus on the actual play design here, because the actual play design is very well constructed, and I saw where a lot of people were talking about Pitts didn't get involved in the game or this and that. That's kind of the narrative going around, and I'm going to show you in this play that that's not true. Like, his mere presence on the field, he doesn't really have to do much sometimes to have an impact on a play, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. So the Saints, I believe, are in kind of like a cover 3 shell here. The coverage really doesn't matter all that much here. It's all about spacing. I mean, it does, but it's not like paramount here. So what you're going to see here is OZ's going to motion across the field, then he's going to do kind of like a wheel, an up, and then it's kind of angled in, so it's like an in route, but he kind of like angles it up and then flips his hips and gets into this space here. Kadarrell Hodge here is going to go up and run kind of like a post route, and he's going to suck up this defender here, and there's another safety that gets sucked up later on, but really the keys here is the good hard play action fake by Mariota sucks down these linebackers, and also you get your linemen flowing here, so they're kind of run blocking instead of pass blocking, so that helps with your protection. And plus, as I stated earlier, linemen aren't really going downhill in run defense. They're kind of flowing, so you're already not getting full on pass rush from them. So and what you're going to see is the linebackers are going to get sucked down by this play action to Patterson, and you're going to see Kadarrell Hodge kind of go on the post here and clear out this space here. And see, OZ earlier, as we talked about, he motioned and went up and then went out, right? So in this case, he goes up and kind of angles and then comes in, and there's a good space here when this play is over. What I was going to say about Pitts is Pitts does not go out on a route here, but he really takes two defenders out of the play. So number 20 here is staying home, right? So because Pitts is on the backside, he's kind of flowing to Pitts' hip, right? But he's also looking for, if Pitts leaks out, then he's going to, take that. But Pitts wants to hold him there because he wants to open up the space here. He's also holding Marshawn Lattimore here because Marshawn Lattimore is, here, and he's waiting because, if Pitts goes in, then number 20 is going to take him. If he goes out, then he's Lattimore's guy. But Pitts doesn't do anything here. But these guys have to be held in place, and that opens up this middle because these linebackers are going to get sucked down and they can't recover and get into that space. Now, like I said, things go south when the tackle is made and OZ fumbles it, but as far as a play design, it's perfection. So we're going to run here. You see him come out. See that hard fake. See those two guys froze. I'll rewind it here because there's so much going on here. So watch Pitts right here. See these two guys? They're kind of just flowing. They're waiting for him to do something, and then it's too late by the time OZ makes his move. We'll go back and look because, like I said, there's a lot going on here. And then he goes up, and then because of that voided space from those guys following Kadero Hodge, you got that space there now. Unfortunately, it ended poorly, but that play design is great, and there's a lot of stuff that we can do off of it later. But the space that it created was just amazing. I had to put it in there. Alright guys, so I wanted to show this play to kind of accentuate the coverage here. Our defensive backs, I've been talking a lot about the D-line and the linebackers here, so I wanted to show a play that was good for our coverage here. And in particular, Hawkins here. He makes a really good play, and I got to give Rashaan Evans a little credit here too, because what we're running here is kind of like a cover one robber man coverage here. So everybody's manned up. Let's see, I think Terrell is inside here on Jarvis Landry. Let's see, Michael Walker, he's manned up on Kamara, and Hawkins is manned up on Taysom Hill here. Now, what they're trying to do is get spacing, get Taysom Hill out in space here. So these two receivers are going to be running up the field, right? But they're really not the keys to the play because obviously it's man coverage, so these two defenders are going up here, right? Rashaan Evans is just sitting in a zone in the middle of the field. He doesn't have a man. And then, of course, you got your safety who's going to play, kind of towards this, because you got the, deep field here. So what it creates here is a space here, right? And Kamara runs an angle route here. He kind of comes open a little bit, but the ball's already out of Winston's hands. So what he sees is Taysom Hill's going to run a little drag route here. And because Hawkins is on the outside shoulder, outside leverage, he's got to cover a lot of ground to make this play, and he does. Because he kind of takes an angle kind of downhill to meet Taysom Hill at the catch point to limit the coverage. Because if he does not do that, you'll see there's tons of space that he would have had to run through. And in years past, Falcons teams have not had this. And where I give Rashaan Evans some credit, he kind of bumps. He kind of gives a little bump to Taysom Hill to kind of knock him off his route a little bit, to give Hawkins time to get downhill and make that play. So I'm going to show you that right now. Alright, so you'll see the space get voided here. He kind of fakes a block and then he comes out. Evans bumps him, and Hawkins comes in and makes a great tackle. But if you go back, let's see. Sorry, this thing's see all that space there. If he doesn't make that tackle, you see that. And I did want to give Terrell a little credit here too, because he's in the slot here, and Jarvis is kind of going in like on a slant, and then he's gonna cut outside, and AJ Terrell does a great job of flipping his hips and staying on him with that play. Oh, well, we got some lag here. Let me rewind here. Sorry guys, this is held up by duct tape here. Sometimes it takes a minute for the frame rate to catch up, but yeah, we'll see here. He comes out, flips his hips, stays on him, right? So that's a good play. And then Walker, you'll see that Kamara's open potentially, but he's got decent coverage on him. But obviously the play's already out of the hands there. So, but yeah, I just wanted to give the coverage some love here, because that was a very good play. So, all right, guys, I wanted to bring this play up as well. This is the third down play where we get a stop, and this is kind of this is gonna start my discussion on a lot of Dean Pease's blitz schemes. Alright, so this is I'm gonna use this word here. This is kind of an amoeba kind of alignment here. So what I mean by that is you're gonna have, and you'll see this a lot, and in this case Dean Pease brings the house, right? He brings everybody. There's only 4 guys in coverage, he brings 7, so we have numbers on them, right? But then there'll be other times where maybe some guys drop out, to kind of get a play, and it's a very strange alignment, and it's very hard for the blocking assignments to catch on, and we'll see that later on here. We just send more blockers than they can bring, but there's also guys that are running free. That we have actually 2 guys that end up running free, right? So, and also another thing I wanted to bring up that's weird about this play is because since we're reading inside the tackle box, right? Because of that, the safety in this situation, he's the mic, right? And you'll actually see, I can't remember if it's the center of the guard, he points to this guy. He's the mic. And as I was saying earlier, in pass protection, the mic linebacker is the guy that I won't say be ignored, but basically he is looked at as he is the alert player, right? So if he blitzes, either this running back has to take him or James Winston just has to be aware, right? And in this case, the running back can't take him because he's got to take on the outside protection here. He's got to take on these blocks because we're sending 6 right here, and then he's a 5th, so he is going to come in free, and he's the one that actually makes the play. And you'll actually see also that we got some pursuit here, and good on the coverage here for obviously there is a guy that gets open. I think this is Michael Walker. He's open, but Jameis just doesn't have time to get him the ball. But overall, it's a very decent, very good coverage. It's risky because if Jameis Winston was able to get the ball off, you could have a big play on your hands. But this also sets up blitzes later on because we're showing them we're not afraid to send everybody, right? So whenever you decide to start dropping people out, they can't really know who's. That's what makes this defense so hard to stop, because you could really just drop anybody out of this coverage, right? And a really good thing Grady Jarrett does here, he's the nose here. He kind of slants to the right. They're all kind of rushing to the right on the line. But what that creates, because this guy is taking on Rashawn, right? And this guy's taking on Bell. And then that guy, McCoy's taking on Jarrett. It opens up this middle, and I don't know which player this is that shoots the gap. It might be Marlowe, or I don't know. I'm terrible with numbers right here. I can't see, but he just shoots through that gap, and he gets on Winston quick. And just makes the play there. So very good defense there. Got us a stop. I just wanted to highlight that first. We're going to cover some more blitzes and similar alignments, and I'll show you how that them knowing that we could send everybody, and the blocking assignments, how we set them up. Like I said, the way that 32, that's Hawkins. So sorry, but he, you'll see here. I mean, because of the slant, or no, that's Grant. It's Grant that got in. Okay. Yeah, because of the slant, and see the motion and stuff too. Like it's hard, and you can actually see. Let me shoot. Okay. Maybe we'll rewind it back here a little bit. I want to show you the lineman pointing out after the motion here. He points to him. See that? He points to him. He's the mic. That's how he's calling it. So. And he's also, I think he's tapping he might have been tapping too for the snap, the silent snap count. Let's see. No, he's calling out the mic. He's pointing because he didn't tap. He's calling, so he's alert. So you see here, the running back looks inside here because obviously this is the area that he would be coming, but you see Hawkins here, he's coming too. So basically he's got to take, it's going to take him a lot longer to get across formation here. Really, that is a possibility. He probably should have, just because in this instance, this guy is going to be a lot easier for Winston to avoid, because he can roll this way and avoid him, whereas this is right up the middle. I mean, so really this running back should have stepped up in this gap right here and took on Grant, because that gives Winston more of a chance as that guy being the alert player as opposed to Grant being. But this is the kind of things, I mean, these are the kind of split second decisions that blockers have to make, that and we'll see later on the Saints, and everyone was saying we ran prevent. We didn't run prevent. We were still sending pressure, and I'll show you later on. The Saints actually adjusted to some of these things that we're doing and blocked it up well. So I mean, that's going to happen, and but honestly, where we went wrong in this game is we didn't make the pivotal plays to finish this game out. So, but it does give you promise seeing all this stuff, because this is stuff that we haven't seen from a Falcons defense ever, really. Alright, I wanted to highlight this play because this really highlights the big fatties up front here, and Parker Hesse here, does a tremendous job to create what they end up creating is a gap here for Patterson to cut back into, but it's just great design, because what it's going to look like at first is an outside handoff, an outside zone, so you can get the linebackers kind of flowing this way, right? But Parker Hesse comes in and he does kind of like a trap play, and he's gonna cut this defender, but he hits him square, so he just takes him out of the play. So all your linemen are flowing this way, right? So they can seal off this area, and like I said, the motion of the play gets these linebackers flowing down. So whenever that block is made, that's the key block right there, because if you don't make that block, then this guy's going to be able to bottle up and force Patterson back in here into the teeth of the defense. But because he makes that block, Patterson's got a great seal and on alley here. To quote Merrill Hodge, you got a seal here, seal there, and there's the alley. That's kind of what happens here, because the lineman here, like Matthews, is just kind of blocking down. They're blocking down, blocking down. In this formation, I haven't ID'd the mic, but obviously looks like good old Amari Davis. Most of the time it's going to be him. So they're going to be reaching up to him, but really he's out of the play just from the motion. Like they're blocking from there. They just got to block their lineman. So like I said, this motion and stuff gets you numbers in the blocking game. This misdirection, because like I said, all it takes is to get guys to make 1 or 2 steps out of the play, and it creates problems. So we'll see here. And I really want to highlight him. See, you see the linebackers go, and then Hesse seals that, right? And then you got the alley. We'll play that again. Like I said, it happens so fast, so I'm going to rewind. So you got the flow, and then right here, he's taking the handle. Look at Davis here. He's, he thinks that it's coming out here. So just imagine Hesse's not here, right? This guy can close this gap, and then Patterson's going to be forced to run in here, and there's a lot of traffic, and he's probably not going to get here. But because Hesse makes such a solid block here, Patterson, you got the guys coming down here, but they're not going to be able to beat Patterson to the hole, so he's going to get 6, 7, 8 yards before they even makes contact. So just a good play design there, and just kind of highlights how good, and like I said, everything's got to work well. Like, you can't just, why is it not pausing? You can't just, everybody is working. That is beautiful zone blocking technique right there. I'll look at them. They're like, it's choreographed, like that's beautiful. And then they got numbers here. They're blocking 3 guys and working up, to these guys, but they're just gonna have to seal them off. They don't even have to truly block them. They just got to get up and kind of seal them off from flowing back, And you see, like, they're working up to them, but like they're already out of the play, man. Look at all that space, Beautiful. Textbook. Alright, guys, I wanted to kind of go over this play because there's a lot going on here that is going to, again, this is another one of those plays where there's so much movement, and you'll see that a lot with Arthur Smith, right? And we saw this a lot with Kyle Shanahan. They've got a lot of movement, a lot of moving parts, motions and stuff, and a lot of things that can play off each other later on. And this is another play that doesn't go on the stat sheet, but Pitts makes a pivotal impact on this play. Alright, and it's not a block. He doesn't block on this play, but he makes a difference. Alright, so this is just an outside zone run with Patterson, but we're gonna have a sift block here. It's a sift. It's not really a sift block because he doesn't really block, but we've got motion here across the formation that potentially, in this case, it really didn't draw anyone out there because they had Lattimore here. He just kind of stayed home for that. And Pitts here, where I say he makes the impact, right? So in this formation, Demario Davis is the mic, right? So I believe it's 68 here. I think is that Wilkinson? Like I said, I'm terrible with names. I did the roster thing, but anyways, he's the reach man here. So in theory, this is who he's reaching up to, right? You'll even see him look to him. But what Pitts' impact here is he's gonna run like it looks like a little over route, but he just kind of stays there, and it holds Demario Davis and even number 20 here. It holds them like they're looking right at him. You can see him whenever it plays, and this guy when he's reaching up, he don't have anyone to block, so he just kind of goes into this zone here, which it closes up. But I mean, it's a good run, out here. But these are the things like because if Demario Davis, say he's not gonna worry about Pitts here, right? He's gonna be coming downhill here, and maybe 68 gets to him and blocks him up. But I mean, he don't even have to because he is occupied by Pitts. I'll show you. So watch his eyes. Boom, right to Pitts, right? Pitts ain't even blocking. He's going back down to the quarterback. He thinks it's a pass play. And see, right now, look how much, I mean, and look at him, number 68 right here. He's like, who am I going to block? Okay, I'm just going to go up here into this zone here, into this space, and just try to find some action. Like, that's how you get numbers. Like, you don't, like, that makes the blocking assignment so much easier, right? Because if we run this back and look at, watch the Saints don't get off the upper right here. Okay. If we look here, because of that, we have numbers. Obviously, like I said, this really doesn't do anything. But it is gonna be able to possibly set up pass plays, and that's what makes the defender see. Because in the NFL, if you get a defender to take one or two steps out of the play, they're out of the play. So and we're getting guys out and up and on these secondary receivers, and then Patterson's job is just to find space. I mean, that's crazy. Like, look at that. Look at obviously that wasn't the best block, but by Lindstrom, but he ended up sealing off pretty well. But see, you don't have to be perfect. When you're on DBs, it makes it a lot easier, and that's the stuff that people say Pitts. I mean, this will probably show it more. Watch these guys. Watch when Pitts comes out. They're scared of him. They're worried. He's holding, and he's holding. Like, he took two guys out of the box, man. And you're just working up to the second level. So, people that say that Pitts wasn't involved, show them that. Alright, guys, I kind of wanted to touch on this real quick. There's not a whole lot here. This is just a quick little outlet pass to Avery Williams, but I kind of wanted to show you kind of what's going on down the field a little bit. Another thing, like I want to highlight again, Kyle Pitts making impacts. It didn't really affect this play too much, but you just see, it just shows you how the defense is keying in, because if you watch in the secondary, there's two guys that are locked in on Pitts. Like, they're just locked in, and then what we're going to do here is do a little spacing. I think, OZ comes in motion again, again to try to manipulate these guys. Doesn't really do a whole lot, but what he's going to do is kind of run up and out a little bit. London's going to take, kind of a in a crossover here, and then he's going to come out. So what you're going to have is three levels of spacing, right? Because Mariota's looking to this side of the field. He ends up just dumping it off here to Avery, who's kind of squeaks out. But this really stresses the defense on this side of the ball, because you've got all three levels with the receiver. So anywhere, like, however they cover this, they're wrong. Because if they come down, like you'll see on the second level, if the guy was to come down and maybe play Avery a little closer, then you create space for OZ. And then you've got up in the deep, basically Drake London just clearing out, but he's also going to be running towards the sideline a little bit here. And, you could see a scenario where, one guy cheats down, two guys cheat down on bite on the, medium, and in lower levels, and then you got a shot to Drake London later. But just, watch here, like two Pitts, look at that, like, I mean, I didn't really point out too much, but you'll see when he comes up, but those two guys are locked in on him. And then you see here, like I said, Avery's got all this space here, right? But say this guy doesn't play down, like maybe he comes down on the play. Well, then you got OZ here, right? And then this guy is playing down on OZ as well. So what if that guy goes down? He goes here. Then you've got London coming here. Just put a whole shot right here, So no matter what the defense does here, and plus, I mean, even though they're keying on him, there's space here that you can see. If maybe Demario Davis gets sucked down a little bit, maybe he tries to take Avery. Maybe you got a thing where he goes here instead of in the middle. So no matter what the defense does, as long as Mariota makes the proper read, they're wrong. Look at all that space. Alright, I really wanted to piece this together with the previous play we just covered because it just shows how it gets these this offense just gets these linebackers all confused, right? And it just makes it very hard and very easy for us if we do our job blocking to get big plays to happen, right? So the previous play I showed, where Parker Hesse cut open Demario Davis, and this guy right here, they took too many steps inside, right? And towards this way and left the alley here. What we do here is we're blocking down to the left side, right? So, and even though the way Mariota's handing off, Demario Davis has to make a decision, right? And again, he's the mic again. But he actually takes a couple of steps. He's not like, he didn't like take a hard step over there, but he takes sneaks a couple of steps over here because that's where he thinks the ball's going. Well, in this case, Patterson just runs it up this way, and this defender is kind of taken out of the play a little bit off the motion of OZ. You'll see that a lot. Like I said, I've shown it a lot. They kind of sift motion across the line and try to get some movement. Because like I said, all they need is just a couple of steps here and there, and they can get massively out of play. Look at the why is it doing this? Let me rewind that. It kind of lagged. Sorry, some of this tape is sometimes it gets kind of jumpy here. You'll just see OZ coming, and then you see this guy just take way out, and then he kind of sneaks inside, like just a step. Like it's not even, it's so little, but it makes such a big difference. Watch this. He kind of cheats, and then he stops his feet. Anytime you get a linebacker to stop, you can see, look, he thinks this play's going right here, right? Nope, it's going right here. Right? And honestly, Patterson's probably looking at his eyes right here. He's probably looking dead at him. And I mean, this isn't a perfect blocked play or anything, but he makes the right read here. Just follows that opening and gets a big gain. I mean, off to the races. Maybe we can see Patterson's eyes better here. Let's look at his eyes. See, he gets the ball. He's looking directly at Demario Davis here. He's selling that dude. But he just makes the proper read, cuts it out. Guy misses an arm tackle. Good luck catching Patterson. Another thing I wanted to bring up here is just, look at this blocking job by our offensive line, right? What I really want to focus on here, it's stuff that we didn't see a lot, before. Um, if with this team is their combo blocking, right? And things like that, and just working as a team, and just driving guy like last year. Parker or not Parker Hesse, Matt Hennessy, he's getting pushed back in the line, just things. But here, we've got a nice combo block here, and they're just gonna drive, man. Um, Again, Mate Davis is the mic. So, I mean, you might reach up to it, but really the way they just took it, all of our linemen just dug in and drove, and Patterson manipulates Demario Davis again with his eyes. It just kind of hits this hole that's created and just drives it home. So, I mean, he ended up finishing it well and getting the touchdown. But look at this line blocking at the beginning of the play. Like, it's textbook, man. Look at that combo, and they're just driving them, man. Just driving them off. Everybody's just sealed up. And of course, Davis is, out of position a little bit here, and they're gonna meet him. But then Patterson just finished, and obviously they get behind Patterson, push him in, finish up the play, man. Like, just finish. Alright, so this is kind of to highlight how DBC's scheme generates pass rush. Um, like I said, this is where the amoeba scheme defense gets you pressure. You don't have to rush 5-6 players to get pressure, and you don't have to have the greatest athletes in the world to get home. This isn't a sack, but it's a hurry. And what you're going to see here is at the beginning, everyone's lined up at the line here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys, right? But in this play, we only rush 4. But it's the 4 that we rush that matters, right? So I'm pretty sure it's he rushes. I don't know who that is. That's Grady Jarrett. Obviously, you gotta account for him. Look at him IDing the mic. So Sean Evans is the mic, right? So what that does is Sean Evans doesn't rush on this play, but what it does do is if Kamara, and I didn't watch Kamara, so he might be running around here. I'm not sure. But if he is blocking, his eyes are going to go to Rashawn first, right? And it's just, like I said, just taking a few steps out of play, you can get some things happen. Where the 4th guy comes from, because so you have him, and I think Carter's rushing here. All the rest, everybody else here is in coverage. Ogundeji drops back. Rashawn Evans drops back. Michael Walker takes kind of seals off Michael Thomas here. The 4th rusher is actually this guy right here. I don't know. I can't see his number, so I don't know who it is. But if you see, like, we kind of rolled our safeties to cover. That's kind of the first indication, which he does that a lot too. But if you ever see a safety and a corner stacked on top of each other, that indicates a potential blitz from this guy, right? Because you want to have your safety in good enough position to kind of come down and cover this receiver. So if you ever see a stack right here, obviously defensive coordinators are going to do that sometimes and not rush the guy, and DBs does that often as well. But that's a key indicator that a blitz could be coming. And what happens is we're rushing 4, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. But we get pressure all with the 4, and Ruiz misses this guy. Like I said, we don't get a sack here. Winston just kind of runs it up, but it makes him uncomfortable. And we're just rushing 4. Watch it. You see here, like, he's kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, right? But Ruiz here misses his block. Because he's going inside. We got Grady Jarrett here, so obviously they're gonna try to combo him, right? But Ruiz has to get out and block. But obviously you're going up against a much faster safety here, or corner, and he just misses the block. That's is that Hawkins again? But yeah, and then obviously Grady Jarrett's just gonna whoop his man one-on-one because he basically got one-on-one coverage. Lorenzo Carter does a good job beating his guy, and yeah, and there's, I mean, look at that, look at that. Let's look at the coverage here. Let's see what they do in coverage. I'm gonna say that this is Richie Grant. I think he's probably gonna come down a little bit here, to play up on Jarvis to fill that hole, and then you got these guys coming out. Like I said, I already know Michael Walker kind of seals him off, but I want to see also after this. I want to see what Kamara does, but first I want to see what we do here. So, I'll see he's already cheating up into that space. Now you technically have, and he's open. Look at that. Like he could be open, but also Grant could be baiting that, because his eyes are on Jameis. So I think that might be why Jameis pulled it, because he might have saw him here and maybe didn't trust that he could fit, because there is space here. But I mean, that pressure's coming quick, right? So he's got to step. He would have to step into the pressure to make the throw. If he does that and gets hit, and it's short, you might get a turnover there. So I think that's kind of the calculation that Winston made there. And of course, Michael Thomas is open here, right? But let me go back. I see Kamara running around, but let me see if he eyeballs, because you can clearly see Rashaan Evans get called by Ruiz. He's the one that's keying the mic. Hey, so I think Ruiz is the one that, and he used to be a center, so that makes sense that they have him IDing the mic, right? And so he does, and then he looks back, ready to go. Let's see what Kamara does. Where does his eyes go? See, he's kind of eyeballing inside, but he's running a route, so he's not really a factor there. So, but yeah, like that just kind of shows you that you can kind of scheme up pressure, and it doesn't always have to be 5, 6 guys rushing. Just gotta have the threat, and sometimes you can bring 4 and get a guy running open. I want to do this real quick. I'm not really going to focus on the play itself here as much as I am going to be on, I believe it's Drake London. I want to play this and see, but I think he does a little zip route, which is basically you just kind of fake inside, twirl, and go out. Anybody that's played Madden has seen that route before. It's usually called a zip route. But, there's questions about his knee, but this is tremendous route running. I'm pretty sure it's him. Let me see. Let me run it. Yeah, like, see how he gets down, like, low, like, if you had some knee issues, you wouldn't be able to do that. And watch him just flip his hips, man. And just get wide open. I mean, like, Lattimore don't know what to do with him. That's tremendous route running for a guy his size. Like, to get that low and to be able to change direction that quick at his size, like that is elite level. I didn't even see this on my first watch through, but Jesus, left him on skates, bro. Because I mean, the corner's got to react. So even if he flips his hips right, like the way he gets out of that break so quick, man, there's nothing. No corner in the league can cover that. So we're not even going to focus on the rest of the play, because that's just Drake London winning one-on-one, man. I just want to highlight that. I just wanted to highlight our offensive line again, particularly our guards, man. Because on this play, they really get up here. Lindstrom's going to get up and kick out Demario Davis here. Uh, and then Wilkinson's going to get out and kick number 20, whatever his name is, going to kick him out of the play. Like, this is just, and then the rest of our line just does a really good job of flowing together and sealing off the linemen, working up to the next level. Receivers do a pretty good job, but I mean the big things here, the keys are the guards here, man. Really want to just highlight them real quick. Look how quickly they get up and flow and just kick guys out, and then you got a decent gain there. That's just masterful. And I didn't mean to go back there. We'll run it again here, and then I wanna see the line view of this play. I mean, look at this, man. This is just, you can't coach it any better, man. And this is what gives me promise, man. No matter how the game turned out, this is what gives me promise. Another play here where Pitts' mere presence creates spacing on the field. So the big things here, you know, there's going to be some other routes here, but that kind of creates some spacing. But the big thing here is Pitts is going to run a little like post over route, whatever, you know. I don't know. He's just running into this space, really kind of pushing the pressure and putting pressure on the safety. But what he manipulates here is this linebacker here, because you got Hodge. He's coming in on a little bit more of a shallow cross here, into this area of the field, and because this linebacker is coming up to play Pitts, that leaves all this space here for Daryl Hodge to work. We'll see this coming in. This is just the stuff that's not showing up on the stat sheet, but just watch. Look at this here. You got Demario's following OZ. You know, he's just kind of clearing space here. He's getting up here. I don't know what he does further, but his main job is to pull these defenders here. You got this space created here, and the reason that it's here is because this guy can't come down, because if he comes down, then you got to deal with this space here, and you're going to hit Pitts. So whereas Pitts didn't have a lot of catches today, in this game, and there are some plays that he missed that I'll go over later, but he makes an impact when he's on the field. Like, he does. Like, this linebacker has to play deeper than he wants to, and then you got all this space here, man. But look at it. If they do, like, no matter what the defense does here, they're wrong. This guy comes down, plays, here. You got this. This is your check down. He's wide open. Hennessy seems to be beating his guy. You got OZ here, coming into a space. Like, no matter what this defense does here, the key is Mariota making reads. And with this pass protection, he should be able to make the reads. Right? You're keeping him clean, and you're getting people out in space. Beautiful. Alright, so in this play, I kind of wanted to highlight Rashaan Evans here, for his play recognition, because he, on this play, everybody's kind of from the onset, they're expecting Kamara to do like an outside zone, which it's what it starts out to be, but Kamara is able to make crisp cuts, and he kind of cuts it back inside. What I really like is you got your linebackers, flowing heavy to the right side, expecting that, and Rashaan Evans recognizes that Kamara's cutback lane is open, so he kind of turns and flips his hips. It's still a pretty decent gain because he's a little out of position, but he kind of saves it from being a massive run for his play recognition, which is really good to see. So I'm going to play this out just to kind of show you. What you're going to see is the D-line. As I said, they kind of flow with the line. They either slant and leverage against the line and flow, or they go with the flow, the grain. Go with the grain or go against it, you know. And in this one case, they're going with the grain. So you'll see it. And Walker just, you know, he does what he's supposed to. You know, he kind of shuts down that lane for an outside. So he does a good job too. It's just Rashawn makes the play. So you see here they're all going, and then Rashawn notices the cutback. He stops on a dime and turns back. And I mean, if he doesn't, I mean, you've got some guys closing in, but he's probably going to get to Terrell. You know, if not, you know, further up the field. But because Rashawn expects it, and then of course Grady's obviously going to slow him down a little bit here because, you know, he's Grady Jarrett. So, but Rashawn just comes back and makes the stop. So that's a pretty good play by him. Nice hop up there at the end too. Put some style points on it. Alright, I'm going to be highlighting Rashaan Evans again here, and Grady. So Grady's playing the nose here, which is interesting. He's played nose a couple of times in this. And then you got, I think that's Horn out there at ends. That's an interesting alignment. You got Taquan up here. But what's really cool is they're going to do a late line shift similar to what you see with the Bulldogs at Georgia. Not the whole line, but Grady goes from being at a 0 to like being at a I'm blanking on my my gaps, but 1 shade I think is what that is. I have to review it. It's simple numbers, but I'm a little my brain's a little off, so I'm not gonna be too hard on myself on that one. But he just moves over into this gap here, into the A gap, and so and then Rashaan Evans comes down on the other end, kind of in between the guard and the other A gap. And what they're going to run here is kind of a crossfire inside linebacker blitz. So Rashawn's going to come down here. He's going to take on the blockers here. Grady's going to kind of slant inside with the center, and then Michael Walker's going to loop around here and kind of blow up the play here. And Rashaan Evans again gets penetration, and they make the play. It's a really good play. Yeah, just a great play. This is another play of Grady Jarrett just being better than everybody else on the field here. So he is gonna be at your end position here. He's so that's not a normal place you see him, but he's just so good. He's just so quick and so tenacious that he just makes it work. And I mean, he doesn't do anything real special here. He does some swipes, but it's mostly just he's better than you and just effort. You know, everything else pretty good, but I mean, he makes this play. I mean, so I'm just going to run it here in silence. God damn. Yeah, he just destroyed the guard and tackle in that play. That was just, I mean, you can't you can't get any better effort. I mean, he just explodes. I mean, that's just. I mean, the tackle even just kind of gives up. I mean, he just checks out. He's like, I mean, I'm gonna try to block somebody else because this ain't working. He blocks air instead of blocking Grady because he knows he can't win. So, I just wanted to highlight that because Grady deserves that. And I want to show this play just to give some love to our defensive backs because we get a sack here with Wk1, but he really the play is a coverage sack because they try to get us on a quick snap here. Our linemen aren't even set, but they're able to get home, which is good because honestly they got home fairly quickly, just rushing 4. I think they just rushed 4. I'll play it and see. It's kind of chaotic, but we do a man. It looks like it's a too high zone, a man. So you got your safeties in like a cover 2. Look here. I'll have to run it to see exactly what happens. But they do man up across the board, and they just smother the receivers. I mean, there's nowhere that Winston can go. I mean, look, everybody's. It looks like they do kind of like a cover 1, because you got a guy moving to the single high. Grant's moving down into more in the box, so it's more like a cover 1. But I mean, they're matched up man, but who's open? Nobody. You get your linebacker covering. I think this guy's coming out on a route. You got Walker matched up on Kamara. He's got him covered up. You just got all your corners out here just matching up. Nobody's open, and then you get a little hip dip from AK, and he's in there. So while you got to give him credit for getting pressure, I mean it's. But see, let's just see. Did we rush more than? We rushed 4. So anybody saying that we're not getting pressure with 4 man, I mean, there's plenty of plays that and I'm going to show you later some plays that we do just that. So, and this is a quick play here, but I'm just going to show you how effective a strong running attack can be, because we basically have one guy out on a route in Drake London, and the play action here gets these linebackers and safeties moving towards the line of scrimmage so much because they're having to sell out because we're killing them in the run so much that London just runs a little in route here and he's wide open. He does have to fit it in a little bit because this safety and linebacker kind of recover a little bit, but I mean, just look at this run action sucking these linebackers down. All of them. I mean, and then you got the void and the space here. I mean, just put it on them. Bam. Such a good play, and we got a personal foul penalty, I think, on this one. So, I mean, that just goes to show you don't have to always run multiple people out on routes. Just, I mean, if you're doing that to a defense, your run game is very successful. And again, this is I'm going to show a play. I mean, Pitts doesn't make a tremendous block here, but he really doesn't have to. And Parker Hesse just blows his guy up. So I kind of want to highlight the tight ends here on this play because they make a gap for Patterson to run through. That's just, I mean, a textbook. I mean, like I said, Pitts ain't the best blocker in the world, but he's a willing blocker, and he does things fairly well for the most part. And here he just seals off his man, and Parker Hesse is a tremendous blocker. He blows his dude out the way, and they're just getting to the second level, and man, you got a nice little 9-10 yard gain there. I mean, let's look at it from this angle. I mean, that's you can't draw it up much better. Okay, I wanted to show this play because this was a big play on third down to Pitts, and he ended up getting hit and dropped the ball. But I actually think that the mistake in this, I wouldn't think that they would draw it up like this. I think this might be a mistake by Drake London on this play, because Pitts is running an out route here, so he's running a little short out, and he's got plenty of space, but Drake is like showing like a screen, like he's stopping like at the sticks for like a screen, and what that ends up doing is it leaves this corner in the space that Pitts is running into, and that's who draws the ball loose. So as I've shown in the previous plays, my Arthur Smith usually likes to get space, create levels. He likes to level the defense. So I just think that, and if this was how it's drawn up, they need to change it, because if Drake London is just running, I mean, he could either run like a 10-yard out, or he could run, or a 10. I guess that would be like a 12-yard out, but or he could just, he could just do whatever, just get that corner to have to push up, and you'll see like it would be a wide open play, and Pitts is probably turning upfield and getting some yards. So I would think that they would draw. I don't know the playbook, but I have seen other plays, and it's always been about levels and spacing, so I wouldn't see how this would be any different. But just watch Drake on here. First watch Pitts and see him, and like he just does everything he has to, and there's plenty of space here. But you see Drake, he's just here in the void, and the corner's right here, right? So when the ball's released, Pitts is carried, and then that guy turns his hips, he's coming, and he hits him. So and it jars the ball loose. But to me, that is on Drake London, because I don't know why it's not pausing, but because I don't see this being the route that he was supposed to run. Because you even see Patterson is kind of pressing his man up. So, could be because the way Patterson's running his route, you don't want two people in that zone, but if it is that, that's a poor play design, because you could have Patterson running kind of an over here, getting into this space, and then Drake pushing the field up this way. You just don't want to create traffic. You want your routes to have spacing, and it could be just they. Another thing that could have happened. This could have been kind of an option route, and they could have been thinking that Pitts was going to like turn and show himself and get in this little gap here. But even still, like, there's no point in Drake London being that close. I don't know. That's what created the problem, whether was schemed or just a mistake by Drake. I just wanted to show that. And I just wanted to show this play to kind of highlight Hawkins on this play. He's right here. Um, he does a great job with her in cover 3, and it looks like he's the flat defender. So basically, the way that typically your flats play, you're gonna play anything underneath. But if there's nothing underneath, he does a great job. He doesn't just kind of go up to cover. He kind of stays down in that area where Winston can't really see him, and then he kind of backs his way up. He doesn't catch the ball, but he creates an opportunity for a turnover. And moving forward, he's probably going to get some people with it. Just watch him. He kind of comes down, then he's just kind of hovering around, and then he sees Jarvis go, and he doesn't go immediately over there. He just kind of backs up and tries to stay as low as he can and out of Jameis Winston's vision, and Jameis does not see him at all and nearly gets it picked. So good on Jalen Hawkins. He had a great game as well, as we'll show. So I'm going to put an APB out on Cesar Ruiz here because he gets straight mugged by Grady Jarrett, and then Lorenzo Carter does a good job of beating his man, and they just have a meeting at the quarterback. Here, I just want to highlight this because we as Falcons fans, we're not used to this, all right? I mean, we're used to Grady Jarrett, but having people back him up, and he is playing, I mean, Grady Jarrett's playing way better than he has past year or two, and I think he is ready for a monstrous season this year. We'll just run this back here. Just absolutely just takes his lunch, dude. He just gets up under that freaking shoulder pad and just get off me, man. Get off me. Just beautiful. And then let's look at Carter here, because I mean, does he just beat the dude with speed, or what does he do here? He just takes that outside shoulder and he's just get off me, man. So PFF, how is that the number 29th ranked pass rush in the league last week? Because I mean, I watched a lot of games. A lot of teams don't have that. What are you guys seeing? What are you guys looking at? Because that's pass rush right there. There's nothing Winston could do about that. Anyways. Sorry, I'm gonna have to add this field vision of it, field view of it, because PFF. I mean, come on, really? This is the number 29th ranked pass rush right here. Is that what you're saying? That's what you're saying? That's what you're saying is the 29th ranked pass rush. Show me 28 other teams with that kind of pass rush. Show it to me. I want to see it. Anyways. Okay, this is another play that I really wanted to show for all the people saying that Pitts did not have a good game, that was not impactful, whatever the narrative is. I mean, this is textbook of creating space for other guys to get open. What Pitts is going to do here is he's just going to run kind of like a fade post route, and he's running right at this safety basically. He's trying to force his move, and what Drake London is doing is he's going to run up and then just an in. So what happens is Pitts carries, I think Demario Davis is also going to, he's in kind of a underneath, but he just, instead of paying attention to this, he just vacates this space here, and Drake London just takes full advantage of it. But this play is made by Pitts. So we're just going to watch Pitts here. this area right here. Just watch right here. What happens when Pitts runs out there? And you'll even see. I think Demario Davis looks dead at Pitts when he's coming out. So let's see. Yeah, see, he's getting out. He's getting out there. Look at that. He ain't even worried about it. And I guess he thinks, we got these guys down here. Well, these guys are looking at the quarterback, and I would say that looks like Mariota's kind of doing some eye manipulation. But you look at Pitts. He's running right at this safety here. He's locked in, and you look at Demario Davis. He is just squaring up with Pitts, and you'll see. And then these guys get kind of froze because look, let's say they back up and they take London here. Look at all this space, and technically you could have him come down, him go up, and it's covered. But you're talking about split seconds, and they didn't even see that guy till late, so they kind of panic. But Pitts doesn't have an impact yet. He takes two guys completely out of the play here and leave London wide open. So, say what you want, whatever narrative you want to have, it's just not reality. And that sets up the field goal. Again, more of Pitts not having an impact or not being involved. You got the corner here. He's got outside leverage on Pitts, and Pitts, what he's going to do is he's just going to run a little slant route, just kind of sit in this zone, pick up some more yards, make it a more manageable field goal. But he doesn't have an impact, though, guys. And Arthur Smith doesn't know how to use the tight end, That's what we all been hearing, right? Except, not only is he able to use Pitts as a tight end, he's able to use Parker Hesse as a tight end. But Arthur Smith, he don't know how to coach, apparently. Sorry, I'm a little heated by some of the conversations that I've had after this game. I just wanted to highlight another player on the D line in Wk1 Graham here. He just he makes such a good play here. He doesn't make the tackle, but kudos to the rest of our players and Rashaan Evans and Hayward's over here, and they just kind of collapse afterwards. But Wk1 Graham completely blows this play up, and he just swipes down on the hands of he just swipes down on the hands and shoulder of the tackle, attacking the outside shoulder, and he just beats him off. Wk1 Graham, he could be another good, complement to what we have in Grady. I think the D-line as a whole is very complementary to each other. It showed in this game, but I just wanted to highlight another player that we hadn't really talked about that made a good play here. Yeah, he just shucks him off, and you see the rallying. I mean, a lot of times in years past, you'd see a guy miss a play like that, and then there'd be nobody rallying. I mean, that did not happen in this game very often. And I'm just trying to show you. I'm not trying to just dote on them, because obviously some things went wrong, and we'll talk about that. But this team is far, far better than what we saw last year. Like, they were outmatched most games, and it showed. And this year, I don't know how good the Saints are going to be. They could be terrible, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think this team is going to be able to play on both sides of the ball, which I don't think I've ever seen from a Falcons team, so I'm looking forward to that. So, I think I'm going to, show all the Taysom Hill runs here. Really, I want to. We defended this better than before. I wouldn't call it perfect, but who did do a really good job is Rashawn Evans here, because he gets outside and he blows up that lead blocker, which allows Richie Grant to come down and make the tackle. It's still about a 7-8 yard run, so it's, I mean, they still had success with it, but it's much more contained than what we saw in the previous plays. And it starts with Rashawn. He just gets downhill, bam, takes on that block, Taysom Hill kind of plays off of it a little bit, wiggles his way for some gain, but I mean, you like to see it, as far as that goes. So, and they do a better job later on, and I'm going to include all the plays and just kind of show the progression. Okay, this isn't the best play for our defense, but I just wanted to kind of show this. We've been focusing on Walker and Evans for most of this film session, and it's because the linebackers are super duper. The inside linebackers are extremely important in Pease's scheme, especially when you're talking about stopping the run. And Walker doesn't do a terrible job here, but he does not. What you want to see is him square up and take on the blocker a little bit more forceful, instead of trying to take it like tackle a outside shoulder and try to like work his way around, because you're not going to be able to make clean tackles if you do that. Whereas if you head up and even if you get push back, you're gonna force that guy back a little bit and kind of create chaos and not let him get up on anybody else. So like I said, it's not a terrible play by Walker. He just, the way that he comes at it, he's got to go around him. See, he's on the outside here, and it is a good play by Mark Ingram to keep running. But see, he's just not able to wrap up, and we do have to be better at tackling than this. But just wanted to kind of show that a little bit, because see, if Walker, instead of going here, hits here, right? Yeah, Mark Ingram can run here, but you also got Rashawn Evans flowing here, and he would be freed up basically. This guy might be able to make a little bit of a play, but he's not going to be able to make the play. Let's take some Hill, but if you see what I'm saying though, like if he comes in, like I said, this is very nitpicky a little bit, but when we're talking about what we can improve on, that is definitely something that I'd like to see better, because if he's on the inside shoulder, he's pushing that guy into this, and he's there, so it just gives him more leverage. But they'll learn, and they do better in this game at points. So I'm not dogging him or anything, just something that we could work on. Alright guys, I wanted to show this play. This is a Michael Walker sack, and kind of break down the way the blitz set up, because it's pretty ingenious. How again, this is predicated on the mic, right? So in this formation, because you see they put Rashawn Evans right outside the tackle box here, right? So he is not the mic. Rashawn Evans is, or not Rashawn, Michael Walker. Rashawn Evans is not the mic. Michael Walker is the mic. And so you can even see him kind of point, to him here. Again, they're showing kind of an amoeba front, not as much, but they're gonna send. I think they send 5. I'll check. But Kamara, for some reason, I don't know if he's running out on a route, but he just ignores Michael Walker, which the blocking scheme is gonna ignore Michael Walker. Oh wait, they only rush 4. Okay, let's go back then. Here. So yeah, that's kind of what I thought might have happened. They actually drop Ogundeji, I think. And see, another thing that was smart about this play is he's the Mike, so obviously he's going to be the alert player or the guy that the blocking scheme kind of ignores. And they put Grady Jarrett again at kind of a nose tackle position, right? And so what that's gonna make this guy do, Andreas Pete, is he's gonna want to double Jarrett, and especially since he's the Mike, he's thinking that Kamara is gonna pick him up, but Kamara for some reason goes outside. But we'll see. And then see, they drop Ogundeji. So they're really only rushing 4, but they get a free rusher. And Kamara is, I mean, he's just, what are you doing, bro? Winston's like, what are you doing? Why didn't you go out here? He tries to show himself for a catch, but I mean, he can't get out there. So, I mean, that's just 29th ranked pass rush, apparently, according to PFF. I'm sorry, I'm bringing that up. A few times here, because that's, I mean, you rushed 4 and I got a guy home free. I mean, what more could you ask? Another thing I wanted to bring up about this blitz, and you saw this in the Patriots Super Bowl a few years ago, but like Ogundeji's dropping, right? But we know he's not going to be able to cover Jarvis Landry, right? But we also know that if this blitz comes through right, he doesn't necessarily have to. So all Ogundeji's going to do is just hit him, jam him as hard as he can at the line, and just kind of drop back from there. So it knocks him off the route, just buys a little time, so you don't have that quick outlet pass for him to dump off for. Watch it. He just blows him up. Bam. That's all you need. And that just buys enough time for the blitz to come through. Hopefully. In theory. So. Okay. And this is a real quick play. I just wanted to kind of show OZ making a pretty spectacular catch, but I also wanted to kind of show why this play worked the way that it did. So as a lot of our formations, we've got a guy coming in motion, and a lot of times it's been OZ in these plays because they want to keep showing the defense the same thing and do different things out of it. But the main thing for the motion, and I brought this up about, you can identify zone and man. Not all the time. Like I said, defensive coordinators are smart. So sometimes they do a man switch where it looks like it's zone, but you just kind of change around your man assignments based off of the motion. But this is just a standard man. He's manned up here with this corner. This corner is going to carry. But see, what happens is you get natural separation when the ball snaps, because this guy's coming across here, OZ's coming here. He just kind of goes up right here and he kind of fades in, so it becomes more of a tight throw than it really should have been. It wasn't the best throw by Mariota, but I think he was just trying to get the ball out quickly, and OZ just makes a hell of a catch. But you see the motion here and comes up. Look at all that separation there. I mean, and then he just fits it in. Like I said, I don't think it was the throw necessarily Mariota wanted to put on him, but hey, it worked out. So, and guys, I really can't dote on this offensive line enough from this game. Not only did they keep Mariota clean, but their run blocking was just fantastic. What you're going to see here is they're going to, block in unison to the left, and Lindstrom is just going to cut this dude down. He's going to cut some trees like a lumberjack, man. And he just does perfect on that. And, everyone else just kind of flows up. The Mike linebacker is, of course, Demario Davis. So McGarry might have reached up to him just based off of leverage. I'm not sure. They could have just played off of him because he probably came down here. And Patterson just makes good reads, and he also blows the shit out of, I think, Tyrann Mathieu. Yeah, he just blows him up. But I just love the blocking there. I just wanted to show that play. Again, guys, the run faking, when your run game is on the way that our run game is on, it becomes an extension of the pass, because we only really run 2 routes on this play, and OZ gets wide open, okay? So it's going to start with the hard play action, okay? And when these guys are staying in too, it kind of tricks the defense to even think that it's going to run more. And then you just have Drake London sit down here, right? And he's been kind of killing it, so that sucks this corner. And this safety, they just kind of sit and kind of forget about OZ here. And OZ just kind of, he's got some burners, so your recovery is not going to be good here. So we get a pass interference because that safety, that's all he can do. That's the only way he can prevent a touchdown right there. So that is the effects of a good run game right there. 2 guys on a route, get a guy wide open. Do less with more, right? Or do more with less, right? Guys, you have no idea how happy this makes me. This is just a QB sneak, but our offensive line, again, it's like pinch me, am I dreaming, right? McGarry just kind of walls off Cam Jordan. Lindstrom kind of comes and helps, which Dahlman's credit, he really didn't need help. Basically, Lindstrom just lunges out of the way because Dahlman, he just pushes his guy aside, man. Like, this is just textbook. Like, doesn't get better than that, man. Like, that is perfect. Your quarterback, I know how this game turned out, right? I don't know why I won't pause. Okay. But I know how this game turned out. But, like, we have a lot of promise here. And I'm gonna cover that. But man, like, you just look at this team, and I don't know how good the Saints are gonna be. And I know that we lost, and that sucks. But it's just week 1, guys. It's just week 1. Week 1's weird, and I don't think that this team is the same team as we've seen from, Dan Quinn's of the world. This is a very well-coached team, and it shows. Play in and play out. We do make some mistakes down the stretch, and we got to get those corrected, but look at the improvement they made over an off season from what we've seen. And you kind of have hope that that's going to happen. Because really we beat ourselves. And beating yourselves, it sucks, but it's also like, hey, I can fix that. So this is my favorite play of the entire game here. And I'm going to try to break this down as best I can. This play is a blitz that we call, but it's just the setup for it is perfect. And what I want to focus on is this right here, okay? This area right here, this is where the blitz gets home at. But the setup is what I love, because in this formation, the way this is set up, the Mike linebacker um, is actually Walker here. You could say Rashaan Evans is, but because of the way the alignment is, this is who gets ID'd as the Mike. And you'll see, I think this is Mark Ingram here, you'll see that he is going to be looking to block up Michael Walker. His eyes go straight for him. Now what's cool about this is, so since he's the Mike, right, they are going to initially, the way that this block is going, if he comes, he's not the direct assignment for this guard. He is to be taken up by the running back, and you'll see how his eyes are. But what's cool about this is Michael Walker doesn't rush directly. What he does is he pushes in on Cesar Ruiz here, and so he attacks that. So Mark Ingram steps up to help with that block, but all Michael Walker is doing is eating up blockers so that Hawkins here has a free shot to the quarterback. And this is I'm pretty sure this is, I haven't played this all the way through, but if I remember correctly on my preliminary watching, this is where that fumble happens. So Rashaan drops out, so we're rushing, like I said, it doesn't really matter how much we're rushing because Hawkins is going to get in here scot-free, but this is where you want to watch. Just watch this. See, he comes in, he goes directly for, see, if you, let me rewind it here real quick. I wish they had a way to, I could slow this down, slow the speed down, but we'll work with it. So, I'm going to try to pause it when this goes. See, he first takes a step inside, you see that, but Walker came in, if you saw, also, if you rewind it back, Mark Ingram goes directly for Walker because he's supposed to get, he knows if Walker comes, he's got to get in there and block. But Walker is just a diversion. He just took out two blockers, and now Hawkins, see, now Mark Ingram's like, oh shit, I got to get out and block. But he's not going to have enough time, and Hawkins just shoots that gap, frees the edge, and then he kind of dumps it off to Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram's trying to walk around and do something, and then that's when the fumble happens. Just textbook blitz play, like, and it just goes to show you how well Dean Pease knows blocking assignments and how he manipulates it. Because, like I said, that it's a weird alignment. Because I mean, you could technically say that Rashaan Evans is the Mike, but the reason that I say that they ID'd Walker as the Mike is because if you're looking at the blocking assignment, so Mark Ingram's in to block, he is on the hip of Winston to the side of Walker, and a lot of times when it's a pretty even alignment there, when you're the side your running back's on is typically when it's kind of divided there, they usually ID the guy that's on, because like I said, they can really ID anybody as the Mike. It's just how, it's typically ran, but it's, there's a formula to it. But when it's something like that, when you got two inside linebackers, you're gonna, call it ID the Mike to the side of the running back because it gives the running back the best chance to block if he does come on a rush. So, but if you saw, and I don't want to really rewind it all the way back, but and I might I'll show the other side here so we can, the other angle, because you're gonna see, watch Ruiz here. He's gonna take a step inside because he is not blocking, he's comboing, and then he's got to come out because he's wanting to stop. But that's what Walker wanted him to do. Walker, if you even watch how Walker Sorry, I'm spending some time on this, but it rewinded a little too far. But 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 you watch Walker, like he's not even really trying to. He's just eating up space, and it works to perfection. And we get the turnover. But yeah, like that is the best play of the game by any team, either team. But yeah. Alright, I wanted to share this play here because this really highlights how well Rashaan Evans plays in the run game and how he pretty much all the defense, the run defense that we had was set up by our linebackers. Like I said, there's, as I've kind of beat a dead horse on that, but I really wanted to highlight this because Rashaan Evans just blows this play up. Watch how he takes on this block. So Walker is the Mike in this situation. So whoever the reach blocker is, I honestly, I haven't even looked at that because my eyes are constantly drawn to Rashaan Evans here. Rashaan Evans is going to take on, I think, number 83. I think he's right here. He's kind of coming across the formation. Then he comes back in, and Rashaan Evans just blows him up, which blows this play up. Just watch him. Comes downhill, bam! And he just takes on that block and just makes Kamara have to make a move. I mean, he's not able to seal off anything, and he want what Kamara wants in this situation. And we'll see here. He wants to get into this gap right here. That I think it's this gap or either right over here to play off. He wants Evans to be sealed off, here, and he could just cut in side here, but Evans is having none of it. You see Michael Walker, his reach man, that McCoy is reaching up to him. But I mean, like I said, it didn't really matter because it just got blown up. I mean, that's incredible play. But yeah. Alright, I wanted to show this play because it just shows how much variety that this team has in their passing concepts and how much space it creates. So, and it also shows kind of the unsung effect of Pitts as well, because he does a fantastic job here, and doesn't get the ball, but he makes the play work. So what we're gonna have here is Zacchaeus first. He's gonna run up and kind of come in and kind of go out, and Pitts is gonna chip the defender here and go on a little shallow out. Kadarius Hodge gets the ball, is going to run like a shallow cross here, and Parker Hesse is going to do a little, he's going to sneak out of here and just kind of run up the field on like a fade. And this is going to look familiar. It obviously was covered up on this play, but you saw this in the preseason one, and you saw it with Kyle Shanahan. He would always kind of sneak out his tight ends in these little plays here, because if the defense gets too focused on the other things that are going on in the play, they might leave this uncovered, and you got a wide open guy, in the middle of the field. Obviously that doesn't happen. He's pretty open though. It creates a lot of space there too, but Kadarius Hodge is who ends up gets the ball. But I really want to key in on what Pitts does here, because he opens up that space that Mariota throws behind. So you'll see there's a play action, which they've been doing all game, kind of sucks the linebackers down a little bit. Pitts chips, he goes out on his out route, and really, Mariota could theoretically hit him here, but his feet aren't set, and there's better plays that come up open. But you see the space right here; it's already opening up. Demario Davis is coming here. He's worried not only about Pitts, but you got Lindstrom out here as a lead blocker, and Mariota's got space he could run, run into. So Demario Davis is coming to squeeze that, but it leaves this void in the middle of the zone because Terrell Hodges already beat his man here, and that's who gets the ball. But I just want you to see like a totality. I mean, there's space here he could go, which he'd have to kind of turn and throw, but that's why, if this is ever vacated, and plus you've got Patterson here, so if this guy takes a step to go to Patterson, then you got that potential play right there in the middle. This guy, he's coming down and playing Pitts, but say he sees Hodge doing his thing. He, and kind of hesitate. Even if he just hesitates, then bam, you're hitting Pitts, and Pitts is off to the races. Like, there's just so much stuff that you can do with this play outside of what was done. So we can just see later on, this being a big factor. It's basically like whatever the defense does, they're wrong. So that's what I keep saying. And I want to keep saying it because it's true. Good play design. There's really no defense for it as long as your players execute. Alright, so these are the drives that are most pivotal to the game, and I want to go over it best I can. I'm going to start with the first play from this drive. What ends up happening here is we've got we've got cover 3, standard cover 3 here. I think this is Quentin Bell. He's going to drop as the flat defender. And Evans is going to play kind of middle here. Obviously, Terrell's the boundary corner. What we have here is there's a post route that's being ran to clear out Terrell. Quentin Bell, what he needs to do, what he should have done, is he turns his back and kind of looks back towards the quarterback, kind of slows him down and voids this space here that Winston hits. But he should really there's nobody else running a route out here, so he just should follow him up the field. It becomes kind of a man coverage because there's no point in you're not worried about vacating this area because there's nobody in the area to be a threat. I mean, technically, I guess the running back could, but I don't think he was even near. But you'll see Quentin Bell kind of turns, which he's a linebacker, right? So, but you'll see him. He comes out and he turns, and you see, Terrell's got to cover this route here, right? Which technically, it's kind of open, but Terrell could make a play on it. So obviously, you're gonna take the better throw against a linebacker that's out of position, right? Yeah. So not much there, but it just it was a good play design. Oh, sorry. Really? Oh. This is another really good play design to expose the coverage by the Saints. We're rushing 4 and we're playing a cover 2. So you got Hayward and Terrell playing like a flat match concept. So they're just going to be kind of following the receivers in kind of a flat zone. Obviously, you got 2 outside safety playing the rooftop, and you got these guys in hook zones. You got Rashawn Evans, Michael Walker, and Mike Ford in hook zones. So how the Saints attack this is they first all that this receiver is going to do is just kind of run up the field, kind of a fade. Michael Thomas kind of does the same thing. Jarvis Landry, who's playing the slot's gonna play like a hook. He's gonna do like a curl route at the sticks. The big thing is number 83 here is running what looks like a post, and in cover 2, the middle of the field is the biggest void. You've got some space in between here, which is why they're running fades, because if the safety doesn't get over quick, they kind of hang up, and you'll see it happen later. But there's a void here that they could hit. The hook zone, the curl route kind of works with it if this guy goes inside, or if he tries to go and cut off the post, whatever, and then like maybe this linebacker tries to come out, whatever, that's open. But what ends up happening too, and this is where the play goes, is Kamara, stays in the block, and then he leaks out here. So what ends up happening is all these guys get back to cover all this other stuff going on, and then the Kamara just leaks out here, and there's just a ton of space in the middle of the field, and he just takes advantage of it. So the key here is to watch how Rashaan Evans plays this, because when you're the middle point of this cover 2, you have to get out here, because if he was to see Kamara leak out and take that, then that space here is open, and that guy in the post can make a play here. So you see a snap, he's got that, and then that leak, and look at all that space. Right, but as we run it back, sometimes this thing wants to be jumpy. But if you see here, like, they're just running fades, but you could see if he wanted to, he might be able to hit that, but that's a little close, but later on we'll see that they hit something like that. So that's just good play design. That, like, defenses, even the best defenses, are going to give up plays like that. So alright, and then on this play, we're going to try to disguise a little bit of it's a cover 2, but it's actually a cover 3. So you got the guys up here, but you can obviously tell he's kind of creeping down. He's going to come in, and Richie's going to take the single high, kind of go out this way. Your flat defenders right here, and I think Michael Walker here is the other flat defender. What's going to happen? What the big thing here is they're just running 4 verts, so everybody's running vertical routes up the field, and what you want is a void in these in the middle here. That's where the weakness of cover 3 is. So we're going to really see it hit here, but what you want to do to try to alleviate that as a defense, and actually this guy's actually the flat defender. I'm sorry, he's the flat defender, because he's going to come down on this side, and this side they do it right, because what's going to happen is your boundary corner is kind of running a deep zone, but it's kind of hooking in to kind of close those seams. And if a guy is taking the seams, what you want is your boundary corner to follow him up, and then your flat defender to fill in the void that's created there by that spacing with this coverage. So I want to first focus on here, because they do it right here, and you'll see it looks like it's open, but it's really not, because you have defenders in position to make a play, and that's not where the ball goes. But I just want to show you, see how Terrell recognizes the seam, and they trade off here. So he's kind of working the seam, and right there I guess you could hit it, but and it's very hard to defend it with um, with a cover three. I mean, it's just a good play to beat a coverage like this. So I mean, you're kind of in a lose-lose, but the big thing is down here. Hayward really doesn't play it right because you'll see he'll kind of stutter. He's going to stutter just a minute, and it's going to create a ton of separation. See, stutters, and then he tries to get out there, but he's already beat. He's already done. Toast. Because what you want, like your boundary corner, he's going to come in and close this. So if he does catch, he can, make a hit on the play, or we've seen Terrell make an interception in the Patriots game last year. That interception came on a similar play like this. But so yeah, that's I mean it's you can mitigate it a little bit, but I mean those plays are going to happen whether he played it right or not. There's a good chance that he would have still been open, but you want to always play it as best you can, and I just wanted to point out to that. But let me see how many we send here on pressure, because the big thing is people are saying that we're playing prevent, but we're sending forward, right? But it's the way you send forward. He's still trying to disguise it. They're just blocking it up a lot better than they did before. Yeah. And here we send 6 guys on it's a man blitz where Sean Evans is just kind of hovering over here as kind of a robber position, and then it's just man across the board. Richie Grant's going to take this coverage here. He's stacking up on Hawkins, I think is the one that's over here, because he's blitzing on the play. And we send, like I said, we send 6 guys, right? But Terrell has good coverage here. It's just a better throw. It's a back shoulder throw right in the spot it needs to be, and Michael Thomas makes a good catch. I mean, but you see the pressure's coming, and it's about to get there. I mean, you got it. They block it up well. Kamara takes the guy that could, be the worst, and these guys are just trying to eat up blockers to get these free runners, basically. Um, and Terrell's playing press. They know who the target is here. The coverage is actually pretty good overall on this play. It's just a better play by the. I mean, maybe Terrell could maybe show his hands and jam him here to buy a little time. I mean, I could see that, but then again, he could get swiped and get beat even worse. You're thinking you're in good position here. He tries to swat it, but it's just a perfect throw. I mean, there's no defense for a perfect throw, and that's what that was. And I think this is the 2-point conversion. Okay, so this is the play that I think the most difference could have been made in the game with a simple adjustment here. So we're basically calling man across the board. What you're going to see is Michael Thomas is motioning across the formation, and whoever's here, I'm terrible with numbers, but I can't see their numbers, but he's going to follow him across, and he's actually going to end up covering Landry and passing off Thomas to Terrell, but they really don't do anything on this play. What happens here, and what a simple adjustment that would have stopped this is Hawkins comes down and he's covered number 12 here. and he goes on to the inside leverage, uh, which is the incorrect thing to do, because with this guy out and he's the only one here, one, he's the contain if Kamara is given the ball, and he would be easily sealed off if he's got inside leverage, which he goes down to do. And two, the outside leverage, which this play ends up going, it's kind of like a little out route to here, kind of out and up, and in with him having inside leverage, the guy has all this space to work with. But if he had inside or outside leverage, whenever he makes his break, you're already on the inside hip and able to make a better play on the ball instead of getting massive separation. If he goes inside, we have guys here that are going to be kind of hovering. I think Rashawn Evans is again in like a little zone, but you've got your whole defense here to help you out if he decides to go inside. So, run fit wise, passing, he needs to be on the outside. Have the outside leverage here. Maybe right here. You know, really sell it. Because, I mean, if Kamara comes, then he can just come downhill and he's going to funnel everything back inside for Kamara. But obviously he doesn't. And he gets beat on the little pass. He swaps here, and I think that's what threw him off. He just kind of, I got him, and then he just stops there instead of going to the outside, and it's detrimental. Because he just kind of, look at him, I mean, look at all that space right there. I mean, that tells all, right? And see, if he had outside, you could get Evans to come down here if he was to go inside, and stop it up. Plus, they're having a crossing route, so this guy would have got put into play here, and he just gets beat. But, these are things to learn from. Alright, I quickly wanted to show this 2-point conversion play because it kind of illustrates my point from the last 2-point conversion play. And what Terrell does better is he has outside leverage. See, same space is here, but Terrell's on the outside shoulder. Now, this is a run, but as I stated before as well, if it is a run, then he is the contained man, so he wants to funnel this back inside. And Terrell does a great job of this, and we stop the play. So, I mean, this is just to show you the difference here. This will play. Come on. There we go. See, he's got the contain. He funnels it back inside. Cause see, if he's inside, I should have just. I'll let it run from the other view. If he's on the inside, he's sealed off, and Mark Ingram's got the corner. You'll see it better from the other angle here. So Terrell's right here. If he's on the inside, Ingram's just going to keep running this out, and he's going to walk in. But that just kind of shows you the difference. Alright, I quickly wanted to show this 2-point conversion play because it kind of illustrates my point from the last 2-point conversion play. And what Terrell does better is he has outside leverage. See, same space is here, but Terrell's on the outside shoulder. Now, this is a run, but as I stated before as well, if it is a run, then he is the contained man, so he wants to funnel this back inside. And Terrell does a great job of this, and we stop the play. So, I mean, this is just to show you the difference here. This will play. Come on. There we go. He's, see, he's got the contain. He funnels it back inside. Cause see, if he's inside, I should have just. I'll let it run from the other view. If he's on the inside, he's sealed off, and Mark Ingram's got the corner. You'll see it better from the other angle here. So Terrell's right here. If he's on the inside, Ingram's just going to keep running this out, and he's going to walk in. But that just kind of shows you the difference. Alright, so this is the one play in the entire game, really, that I saw Patterson make a mistake, and it cost us prolonging this drive. This is a 3rd and 1 play right after the first touchdown that the Saints scored. And what's going to happen here is we're running kind of again a zone run scheme as normal. Now our line is blocking to the left, or to the right, I mean. And what's they're doing also is Lindstrom is pulling to the left. Alright. And it's kind of a weird formation because they've got McGarry out here, right? And Pitts is actually the tackle. Or, well, he's the tight end, but I guess Lindstrom's the tackle. But it's just a weird alignment here. And you got Parker Hesse kind of motioning over here. Where Patterson makes a mistake is because of this heavy motion here. Demario Davis is going to kind of come down here. But what Patterson wants to do is kind of cut back in and kind of go around. But the issue is the D line is slanting towards their left, left of the formation. So when we're blocking right, they're slanting left. They have leverage here, right? So Patterson gets this ball and he cuts it up where Lindstrom vacates on the pull. But as you'll see, Patterson, if he would just carry this out here, he's got tons of blocking, tons of blockers. He's got a lead blocker to take up the space, and he would easily get this first down. But since he cuts back, the D-line has the leverage, and he just kind of goes into the teeth of the defense. So I'm going to play it and kind of show you. See, look at all this space out here, right? Because you got everyone's sealed off. You've got Parker Hesse out here, and you got Lindstrom coming out to come up and get these guys. And that, Patterson is looking here, and he sees this, right? And he sees this. Mario Davis coming out this way. But as you can see, these D linemen, because of the way they're slanting, they have natural leverage to close this gap. So whenever he cuts it up, he gets stopped. So that was really the one mistake that I could really point to for Patterson, but it did become a pivotal play because we would have prolonged that drive and took some more time off the clock had he made it up there. But we're learning. And this, guys, is just to show that we, it doesn't really matter what we were calling. I mean, we were calling the same defense that we've been calling all game, disguised as we were sending pressure. Here, we're disguising a cover 2 as a cover 3. As you can see here, Hawkins is kind of down in the box. It looks like a single high, but when we play this out, Hawkins is going to come up and it's going to be a traditional cover 2. It's also showing that Jameis Winston was just, I mean, he was just threading the needle, man. He was just playing out of his mind. What happens here is they high-low Terrell, so he's the flat defender. They leak 83 out on the route here, and this receiver is just running a corner, like a little corner route. And what happens is Terrell just hesitates for a moment because he sees that guy leak out. And he just stops his feet for a moment, and it creates just enough separation. Terrell almost recovers on it, but they just hit that spot between where Hawkins is and Terrell, and he just lays it right on the receiver. I mean, it's a perfect throw. So we're going to play this out here. That hesitation. Oh, trying to get out. And, I mean, you know, that's just a good play call against cover 2. A lot of times, offenses will like have one half of the fields for cover 3, the other half's for cover 2, kind of mix and match. But I mean, it just goes to show you this is a true game of inches because Terrell takes just one step out of the play, and he can't recover. And when Winston just puts it on his guy, I mean, that, you know, it happens that way sometimes. So that's what happened this whole fourth quarter. I'm gonna show plenty of evidence of that. And this is just to show Jameis Winston was navigating the pocket better. I mean, what you're gonna have here, we're not sending, we're still just sending 4 here, but it's still going to be the amoeba style because Walker and Evans are pressuring. I mean, it's just a straight 4-man rush here, and Grady Jarrett wins his block. Like, he beats Cesar Ruiz here, and he almost gets a sack, but Winston just does a masterful job of just stepping up in the pocket and getting the ball out. And I mean, it's not a huge gain, but you know, it's not a sack either. Cause see, bam, he's beat. I mean, he's dead to rights. But you'll see Winston just step up, whoop, come in, make a good throw. I mean, you can talk about our defense all you want, but that's there's nothing that you can do about that. And here's the prevent defense that everyone's talking about that we ran in the fourth quarter, okay? This is a blitz, a heavy blitz, and it almost results in an interception that would have sealed the game for us here. So it's a perfect blitz. Michael Walker gets in. You know, this is a lot more of a straightforward blitz, but it's a lot of what we've been seeing manipulating the scheme. He gets in the face of Winston, and I mean, I think it's Terrell here. He cuts off the route, and if he just squeezes it, I mean, we're talking about a different game. Boom! Look at that. They sent 6 there, and Terrell is right there in perfect position, and the ball just falls in front of him. You know, it's how the ball bounces sometimes, but to say we were being conservative or that we were playing prevent is just not true. I mean, yeah, we didn't blitz every play, but we didn't blitz every play the whole game. You don't do that, you know, but we're still being aggressive with our calls. And, I mean, the Saints made plays. Like, they got lucky, too. I mean, if that ball doesn't hit the turf in front of Terrell, the game's over, you know. Alright, and this is another thing that we're showing that we're not playing prevent, we're still playing aggressive. Like, and it just didn't work out. The Saints called a good play, and it worked out in their favor. Right now we're running a cover 1 man. And what we're doing is ultimately only 3 guys rush. or yeah, 3 guys rush, but both Carter and Walker bluff a blitz, so it looks like 5 guys are coming in on the formation, and I think even Evans kind of comes down in here, but he's really just eyeballing Kamara. But they're still trying to overload, even though they only rushed technically 3. It would have got home had this happened. So what they're gonna run is a little rub route. So Michael Thomas is gonna run underneath here and go up. And I think this is Jarvis Landry here. He is going to kind of curve in, right? So this cat creates a kind of a natural rub. What you want to do, what you want your corners to do, is do a man switch. So whenever he comes under like this, you would want Alford to turn his hips and follow him up, and then for Terrell at this mesh point to turn his hips and follow his guy up, and then you don't have that rub separation that you get here, but they don't, and Terrell has to come under this, and it creates separation here, and again, Winston just puts it on a dime. So he's coming. See that rub there? But see, and I think this is just 2 young guys that haven't had a lot of work together. But I'm gonna rewind it back here to try to capture when that mesh point happens to show you if they would have swapped what it looks like. I'm gonna try to pause it. Oh shit, it didn't pause so well, but you see what I'm saying there. And it's just a great route. But if you see here, we were going to get home if he just had another second. But yeah, it is what it is. It's a good throw. Sometimes you just gotta give the other team credit. I mean, that's a perfect play design on what we called, and it's not prevent. I mean, prevent would have been like quarters, and we got 2 high safeties or something. We're still playing the way that we did in the other 3 quarters. It's just not working as well. They're making more plays. Here we called a blitz with Grant, and we rushed 5, and it was a screen pass, and Walker does a tremendous job of recognizing it and stopping Kamara, because if he doesn't, Kamara's out in space, and we're talking about a big play here. So even in the negative, we have some positives here. So Walker makes a tremendous play here, but you'll see this ain't prevent defense. This is blitzing. This is blitzing at its finest. And Walker was blitzing. He just recognized what was going on and made a play. I mean, if he gets blocked up there, look at the space. If he gets blocked up, this isn't prevent. Prevent would not have this. Look at this. If he gets blocked up here, look at that. These guys are running down. These guys have got blockers. He's probably going to have to come down and make the play. Or somebody on the backside here. This play is probably going all the way down to probably the 10-yard line if Michael Walker doesn't make this play. So you got to give him props. And it's a huge loss, Good play, Honestly, if this is anything, it's a product of being too aggressive here. Which, I mean, I'm not critiquing, I'm just saying, like, the prevent defense narrative is so far out of bases that we're probably playing a little too aggressive here, because this is right after the Michael Walker stop. They're behind the chains. We could get them in a big 3rd down, and we're calling I mean, it's not a blitz, but it's a bluff bluff play, and trying to get to do the same thing that we've been doing all game. But the Saints block it up well, and because of the bluff, they have like Rashawn down here kind of spying. Walker goes here. This is a cover 3, and it just kind of voids out this zone right here, this space, and the receiver just kind of curls in, makes the, gets right here. So Michael Thomas, yeah, he's making plays, but I mean, and it's not even anything saying negative about. Sorry, my thing's messing up here, but it's not even saying anything bad about our team. It's just they made plays. This is a good design. I mean, it voids out where you want, and they just made plays. I mean, you look here, like, this is not a prevent alignment. We're sending 4, but we're sending 4 in exotic ways. I mean, sometimes you just gotta say GG's in the chat, Now this play is on Darren Hall. I think we're in a cover 3 here. Sorry, sometimes I run these plays and I watch them and I kind of forget some details, but that's neither here nor there on this. It's pretty obvious to see what the issue is here. They're running another, well, my cursor can, there we go. They're running another rub route here, and it ends up making these 2 receivers be in the same spot, right? But the issue is that I think this is D. Alford here. He goes in, Hall be in the boundary corner, and you'll see on, I don't know if they do on this side, but again, as we talked about earlier, the boundary corner is kind of angling in to close in the seam. If he would have swapped, these 2 receivers are out of play because they're in the same zone as one another with a defender. And if Hall covers this space here, it's a contested play, but instead there's a tremendous space because Jarvis Landry just runs up here, runs a little in or out. And like look at them spaced up. But if you look here, Hall even recognizes it late that he messed up because Alford comes in, he's got that covered up. But you need to be out. Yeah, you need to be out earlier than that. But he follows it too far up. See, if he'd have recognized it, he's coming in my zone, go out here, and you can contest that. But he just simply doesn't. And it's a good play design. It's hard. This is a difficult sport. Little mistakes, man. Little things here and there, man, make all the difference. But we're not playing prevent. I can't stress that enough. And again, this is another quick back shoulder throw on a fade. And, there's really just nothing Terrell can do about this. Perfect throw. He's in great coverage, but there's no way to stop a perfect pass. No way. I like this little play here. It's a little play action pass that we it gives Mariota a run. But what I love about this has nothing to do with the routes or anything like that. I love this. Wilkinson actually starts to block, and then he flips around and pulls and becomes the lead blocker for Mariota. But he's not past the line of scrimmage, so if Mariota wanted to pass it, it's not going to be a penalty for, ineligible downfield or anything like that. But it just opens up a lead block, and Mariota just follows it. I just kind of like the play design because it's a RPO basically. You got guys out here just running some simple crossers, but you got the light lead blocker here, man. You got Pitts out here blocking. We just get up at the second level here. If Pitts would have been blocking a little better, maybe, I don't know. He does a pretty decent job there, but yeah, like I just kind of love this play. Like we'll see here. I just love how he just turns, comes, and he's got a lead blocker here. I don't know. It's just a good play. Okay, guys. Like so, this is a play I wanted to show. It ends up not being a huge deal because of the holding penalty that gets called on the next play. Um, but this is really just showing Pitts making a mistake here, and I mean it is what it is. But he's gonna do a little sift block here, and we're gonna block down. I think this is a read option play. So I think this guy is getting red here, this end right here. And so Mariota's got him blocked, but because he's sift blocking here, he kind of just runs across and he doesn't really lay a block. If he actually squared up and made the block, Mariota's got the outside edge and we got the first down and possibly more. So I'm just going to play this through real quick. Watch Pitts on this. Comes across. If he blocks that guy, if he comes down and blocks that guy instead of just kind of turning his back to him, which sometimes it works, but in this instance, you want to just square him up and just take him out and then have Mariota have the edge here. So I just wanted to kind of show that we'll set from this angle here. He just kind of turns his back to him, but if he does that, I don't think 92 is going to be able to bring down Mariota probably in that instance. He's not going to be able to get it. He's going to make an arm tackle and not make it. But like I said, sorry if I sound a little down. This is a little bit of a depressing time of the film session, but I mean, like I said, just minor little things, minor adjustments. It gives me hope moving forward because we can just clean up our mistakes and this offense and defense could be very lethal moving forward. I just want to put this in here. It kind of took me by surprise. I didn't realize this in real time, but Damian Williams was back on this third down botch snap. Maybe that's what threw Mariota off. I don't know. But Damian Williams is actually in here. And then, of course, fumble Ruski here. I think what this play was going to be was it was going to be a run to the off tackle here. And, hopefully you get the first down. But we'll never know. The world may never know. And that was the end of that drive. So we'll flip it over to defense. Okay, guys, a lot of you guys wanted me to figure this out, what happened here, and why Hayward kind of stopped his feet, and it was kind of an awkward play, and Jarvis Landry made a good play on the ball, and I think I figured it out. All right, so this is the first play of the last drive, right? So what you're expecting here, because the Saints have no timeouts, right? So everything is going to be towards the sideline that they're going to do, right? And so what Hayward is doing here is he's looking at Jarvis Landry's, probably his hips, because that's going to give you the indicator of if he's running an out route. That's basically what he's trying to do. He's trying to not give up deep. He's off depth here, but he's also trying to prevent like an out route, because if Landry cuts an out, then there's nobody there to stop him, and that's going to be a good big gain, get him out of bounds, and they're going to drive down, further to get a field goal. Now I know what happened, but I think he just kind of hitched a little bit, And again, I've said it millions of times this film session, it seems like one step out of play in the NFL is just, you're done. You're done. There's two good athletes, and he just hitches a little bit. He probably should have just flipped his hips before, but he was afraid that Landry, what if Landry runs a comeback, right? He's the only defender out here. So really, I mean, I'm not giving him a pass or anything, but it's football. Things happen. And honestly, the catch that was made is a lot more difficult than if he had not done what he did and he runs a hitch or something like that, because then he's got room to run, and they might, he might run inside here, because you can see like there's some space to the inside a little bit as we run this. So he's looking, he's watching him, and then he turns on. But I just want you guys to bear with me, and I wish this thing would pause when I want it to. It's not very reactive to my pause, unless I don't want it to pause, then it pauses. But you watch this as it runs. Alright, he's looking at his hips, right? He's watching him, he's backing up. But look at this space here, because this guy's going to clear out right here. If Landry was to run a comeback, a hitch, an out, something like that, especially if he runs like a comeback, right? He's going to have space to run into this zone. Now, they don't have timeouts, I know, so it would be running clock, so he might go out of bounds even still. But if you're Hayward, you're trying to prevent. This is the time to play prevent. In a way, it's not like a prevent. How do I say this without being confusing? It's not prevent as like you're wanting him to make the catch and run. You're actually wanting to stop every catch possible. He wants to be able to make a play if it's an out route. And he just gets, he just hitches just a little bit, and then that's where the space happens, right? And he tries to kick on and recover, and he does a decent job, and this wasn't the best throw, but, they made a play. But if you wanted an explanation for why that happened, that is why that happened, because he's watching. He stops right here because he thinks, oh, maybe Landry is going to cut out here, and I'm in perfect position if he does. And that's just not what happened. But there you go, and I think we've only got a play or two left, so.